Want to speak real English from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at EnglishClass101.com.
Hi everybody, and welcome back to EnglishClass101.com's YouTube channel. My name is Alicia, and today we're going to talk about basic adjective comparisons. So today I'm going to explain how to make a basic adjective comparison. We'll talk about short adjectives, long adjectives, and some sample question patterns and some sample statement patterns you can use with this grammar. So let's get started. Okay, so first I want to talk about short adjectives. So short adjectives are adjectives that are 1 to 2 syllables long. A syllable is the beat of a word. So for example, the word small has one beat, small. The word fast has one beat, fast. Pretty has 2 syllables, pretty. So a syllable is like the beat of a word. So for short adjectives, adjectives which have 1 to 2 syllables, to make the adjective comparative form, we use the adjective plus er. This is how we make the adjective form, the comparative form of the adjective. However, please note, if the adjective ends in a y, like pretty, the form is still the same. It's the adjective plus an er sound, but the spelling does change. So if your adjective ends in a y, please drop the y from the end of the adjective and add ier instead of only er. This is special. It's only for adjectives which end in y. So please be careful with spelling. In pronunciation, it doesn't make that big of a difference, but just please note it when you're writing things. Okay. So for example, with the 3 adjectives I just mentioned, small, fast, and pretty, we just add er to the end. Small becomes smaller, fast becomes faster, pretty becomes prettier here. So this is how we make the adjective the comparative form of an adjective, a short adjective, 1 to 2 syllables. Okay. Let's talk about how to make the comparative form of an adjective with 3 or more syllables. So, for a long adjective with 3+ syllables, the adjective does not change. The adjective stays the same. However, we have to add more or less before the adjective. So, for example, with the adjective beautiful, we can add more or less in front of the adjective, before the adjective, to make the comparative form. The same thing applies to the adjective expensive. So expensive also gets more or less before the adjective, and this makes the comparative form. So please remember there is no need to change the adjective if the adjective is more than 3 syllables. If it's fewer than 3 syllables, please make sure to use this pattern, the short adjective pattern. However, there are a few adjectives which have an irregular form, an irregular comparative form. A few of them are up here on the board. So, some irregular adjectives are good, bad, and fun. Good does not become gooder or more good. Good, in fact, changes to better. So please be careful here. Good becomes better. Bad becomes worse. We do not use badder or more bad. Please use worse. Bad becomes worse in the comparative form. For fun, the long adjective rule applies to fun. So please use more or less in front of the adjective fun to make the comparative form. Okay, so now that we know how to make a comparison, let's talk about a few different patterns that you can use to explain a comparison, to make a comparative statement, or to make a question asking someone to compare 2 or more items. So, first, to make a positive comparison, we'll say A is plus the comparative adjective, than B. So, for example, I could say, let's see, this book is more expensive than that book. I've used the comparative adjective form here. To use a short adjective, I could say, let's see, that shop is smaller than this shop. So just make sure to use the comparative form here. In the negative comparison, however, you'll see it's slightly different. When you make a negative comparison, you'll say A is not as plus the regular adjective. There's no change to the adjective in this sentence pattern as B. So for example, A is not as big as B. A is not as expensive as B. So please be careful. When you're making a negative comparison, you're not changing the adjective. The adjective will remain the same. There's no need to update this part. So please be careful here. Finally, I want to talk about a few questions. So these are a few question patterns that you can use along with your comparatives. So for example, which is plus your comparative adjective, A or B. So for example, which is more expensive, A or B? Or which is bigger, A or B? Here you need to use the comparative form of the adjective in your question. The same thing here, is A or B comparative adjective? So is A or B bigger? Is A or B more expensive? You can use both of these patterns to ask simple information questions using the comparative form. So let's try this out in a few example sentences. Okay, so the first sentence that I have, my brother is something something than me. I want to use the adjective funny here. So funny has two syllables, funny. It also ends in Y. So I know I need to apply this rule I just talked about here. So the correct answer is funnier. My brother is funnier than me. This is the correct answer. Okay, let's go to this one. Thai food is something something than French food. For this one, I want to use the adjective spicy. So spicy, just like funny, ends in Y, and it's a short adjective. So again, I need to apply this rule here. So Thai food is spicier than French food is the right answer for this one. Okay, next I have a new house is more, so this is a big hint word for me, more something something than a new car. I want to use the adjective expensive. I know that expensive is a long adjective, so this is the rule that applies. This means there's no change to the adjective. A new house is more expensive than a new car is the correct sentence here. Okay, let's go to the next one. French fries are something something than onion rings. French fries are what? So I want to use the irregular one, the irregular adjective good. French fries are good becomes better in the adjective comparison form. So French fries are better than onion rings is the example sentence. Okay, so let's go to next. Batman is something something than Superman. All right, so for this one, I want to use the adjective exciting, exciting. So exciting has 3 syllables. I know I need to use the long adjective rule here. So Batman is more exciting than Superman is the correct answer for this one. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Shopping for clothes is not as something something as shopping for food. So we learned here there's no change to the adjective when I'm making a negative sentence. So I want to use the adjective fun here. Fun, therefore, does not change in this sentence. So shopping for clothes is not as fun as shopping for food. Okay. The final example sentence, listening to music is more something something than driving a car. So here, again, I have this hint word, more. So that means that it's probably going to be a long adjective. Okay, I want to use the adjective relaxing in this sentence. So, more relaxing than driving a car. All right. So these are a few examples of ways that you can use the adjective comparative form to make a lot of different sentences, to make positive statements, to make negative statements, and you can try to make a few questions with this grammar as well. Just if you're not sure which adjective form to use, just think about the number of syllables in the adjective you'd like to apply, and you can try using the rule we talked about on this side of the board. So I hope that you enjoyed this lesson. If you have any questions or comments, please be sure to let us know in the comment box below this video. If you haven't already, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel too. You can also check us out at EnglishClass101.com. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.